Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the Club World Cup final between PSG and Chelsea, or Chelsea and PSG. Actually looking forward to this game. Look, the tournament's had its critics, but we've got a full ground. It's the last game. If that's not to celebrate, I don't know what is. And you know what? I think both teams are going to take it really seriously. So, look, I'm just going to enjoy this. I think PSG are a good side. I think Chelsea have got a chance. I think it's incredible that we've basically played a World Cup amount of games for a tournament like this. It's incredible that we've got through it. It's incredible that we've had 32 teams and everything, but it's over. It's done. And the next tournament in America actually will mean something because it will be the World Cup. But fair play, PSG are the best team in the world. And although the merits of the Club World Cup don't really mean anything if Chelsea win it, because they're not the best team in England, let alone the best team in the world. If PSG win it, at least that would verify the validity of the tournament. But I'm not taking anything away from Chelsea. They have an opportunity, and they could take that opportunity against PSG. I don't think they can, but I think it will be a bit closer. Step aside, we're going to cook PSG, says PSG. Says Robert, thank you very much for that. Do you want Chelsea to win? I want Chelsea to give them a game. Yeah, I want Chelsea to give them a game. But I think PSG are too good. I think they're the best team in the world. And therefore, if we're going to have a Club World Cup, I hope they do win it. I really do. Spectacle's nice. Fireworks. But yeah, let's get the team news in on the screen. We're sponsored by Manscaped tonight. I'll talk about that in a moment. But just before we do that, I just want to go through the team news. Where we go. Some planes flying over now. So, PSG, Donnarumma, Hakimi, Marquinhos, Beraldo, Mendes, Neves, Vitinha, Ruiz, Doué, Dembele, Kvaratskhelia. It's an amazing side. It is their best side, and it's a very, very good side. So, you know, I think Chelsea know they're in for it today. It's a good test for Chelsea. As I said the other day, they don't really have anything to lose. If they win, it's great. If they lose, they're expected to lose, and they've earned a load of money. Chelsea's lineup: Sanchez, weak; Gusto, Chalobah, Colwill, Cucurella, Reece James, Casido, Enzo, Palmer, Pedro, Neto. I mean, look, it's capable. I think if I said this the other night, if they're going to beat Chelsea, if Chelsea are going to beat PSG, you're not going to have a lot of the ball. You've got to defend well, and you've got to be efficient in the chances that you take. That's the plan. If Chelsea win this game tonight by having more possession and dominating, I'll be stunned. But they can win by defending well, taking their chances and scoring first. I think those are the ingredients for the game tonight. That's what I think. Gyökeres is official, I think. Let's have a look. I mean, that is incredible timing from Arsenal to do that. I don't know where it's coming in official from. Arsenal in process of completing move for Gyökeres after taking final steps in negotiations with Sporting. Made formal advances on deal terms over the weekend in bid to score. Okay, yeah, so David Ornstein basically has dropped the... but I mean, that was an hour ago. I thought we'd had, like, deal done. Here we go. Oh, no. Here we go. Oh, no. No, we haven't had it. Gyökeres to Arsenal soon. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, it's going to happen, basically. Yeah, yeah. No, I was on the United stand a few minutes ago. I said, like, you know, some United fan was, do you think we're not bought Mbeumo because we're waiting in case it collapses? That's not going to collapse. That's not going to collapse. Like, he wants Arsenal. Arsenal chose him. That's not going to collapse. Manscaped. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. We've got an exclusive offer for you. You can get 20% off with the code footy, not TUS, that's on the United Stand. You get 20% off with the code footy. What is Manscaped? Well, it's things like this which I actually need to use tonight, the beard trimmer. I will have had a shave by tomorrow morning, start the week as we mean to go on. Beard trimmer, 20 different lengths. Also, I might actually use the Handyman because that's like the old-fashioned clean shaven. Lovely bit of kit that is as well. You've got the weed whacker for up the nose, but you've also got, and I have to show you the real one, my brand new lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. This bad boy, and it is a boy because, no, well, I don't want to think about that. But no, look, basically, for where it goes, it's gender non-specific. Look at that. Only got it last week. I haven't actually used it yet, which is surprising the weekend we've had because I could have done with, it's been very hot. So, but, you know, doesn't need a trim yet. But what a bit of kit that is. That's the lawnmower. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. You can get yours or any of that kit delivered to your door for free with the code footy and 20% off. So free delivery wherever you live worldwide, trusted by millions of men worldwide. 20% off with the code footy and free worldwide delivery. Get yours delivered today. Fantastic bit of kit. And in this weather, lads, I think you know what I'm talking about. Any advantage. It's about marginal gains. Any way you can remove heat is a positive. And look, down there, it can look like a bloody bush, can't it? So let's get going. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. Robbo96 says, someone asking Fantino if he knows where the Epstein list is. Okay. Political. It's on The Zone. It's also on Channel 5 tonight. But thank you very much to Manscaped for sponsoring the stream as ever. Please do share the video. I mean, I'm intrigued to see how many people are going to watch this tonight because someone on the United Stand was saying they're going to watch Wales against England women's game. I mean, we'll keep you up to date with that. But for me, I just love watching PSG. And I think it's going to be a real treat. I mean, this game could kick off in an hour. This is something they need to sort out for the World Cup, by the way. When a game kicks off at 8 o'clock, I expect it to kick off at 8 o'clock. Too many of these games go on for too long. And it's not helped by individual walkouts. It's 2 minutes past 8 and we're doing individual walkouts. They need to stop this. They need to stop this, really. Just get on with the game. You know, get on with the game. That's all we're asking. Jimmy says it's the Americanization of the tournament. And PSG, let's start cooking, says Nobby. Is it the PSG stand? No, I just like PSG. There's nothing wrong with liking PSG. I do like PSG. And I think they play football in the right way. And I think that's just basically why I like them. But look, I actually think that Chelsea, and I think they probably will get beat, but I think they're going to give a better account of themselves than Real Madrid did the other night in the semi-final. I think this game's going to be a lot closer, in my opinion. So yeah, let's see how it goes, because I'm looking forward to it. Mark and I are just walking out here. Okay, let me get the timer ready to go. I will tell you when it kicks off. We're just waiting for these bloody walkouts. I think we'll probably end up kicking off at about 5 tonight. Oh, we've already had 5 o'clock, sorry. So the time in New York is actually 3 o'clock in the afternoon, isn't it? So it'll be hot. It's going to be hot tonight. Have a look at the live chat. Well, what gear do you use to trim your bum, says Bob. I don't do that. Do you do that? I don't do that. We're not starting. We've just gone to an advert here as well. Another advert coming in. I suppose it depends if you've got a hairy arse, doesn't it, really? What's the final score? I don't know, because the game's not over yet. Get off my fucking screen here. What's this? Get off. Why? I don't really understand why I've got an advert here. Surely they're going to kick it off now. We're ready to go. I want to watch a PSG masterclass. Right. Players are in a huddle. We're about ready to go. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Just watch your Men in Blazers video on Instagram. It says rinse clear. Thank you. Thank you very much for watching that. Enjoyed doing it, talking about the World Cup. Pirate of the Perineum says Apple needs a Manscaped choice in photos to send. If Chelsea win, would Pedro be the quickest player to win a trophy with a new club, says Joel. It's a good quiz question. They've got that guy going, let's ready to rumble again. Pantelis says, what's your opinion on Reece James, Mark? I think he's a bit arrogant and has a big ego considering how much he talks for how little he's done, but solid in my opinion. I think he's a good player, mate. I've never really heard him be arrogant. I've heard the same people say the same thing about his sister in women's football, but I've never heard either of them talk, to be honest. So I can't really. It's one of those things I don't have an opinion on because I haven't seen him talk arrogantly or anything like that. So it's not something that I can give an opinion on either way, to be honest. Right, it's nearly 8:10. I tell you what, I love football, but I do not like this. I think this happens a lot in American sports. I don't like this. I don't think a lot of Europeans like this. If a game is kicking off at 8 o'clock or 7:45 or 3 o'clock, we expect it to kick off at 8 o'clock or 7:45 or 3 o'clock. I'm not interested in the razzmatazz. I'm not interested in the walkouts. I'm not interested in let's get ready to rumble. It's 8 minutes past 8. The game should have kicked off 8 minutes ago. I don't like the looseness with the kickoff times. Call me a stickler, but I think it's unnecessary. Anyway, PSG with Chelsea going long there. That's going to go all the way through to Donnarumma. Of course, Chelsea are playing in the blue and they are playing in the white. PSG. Do you think Isaac leaves Newcastle if they sign Ekitike, or do Isak and Ekitike start together, says Jonathan? I think that Newcastle wanted Pedro and to keep Isak, so I think they want two strikers because Callum Wilson's gone, so I think they'd look to do both. What do you know of Vitek, says GGMU? Very little. I drive an Astra. Good start by Chelsea. Pedro's got it. Edge of the box into Cole Palmer. They need to start well and they need to be confident. Cross comes in. Donnarumma gets hold of it. Fraser says, I've just found out my girlfriend has been cheating on me and she's a Chelsea fan. Come on PSG. Any advice? I think PSG beating Chelsea and her being a Chelsea fan is not the punishment you're looking for. Dump the unfaithful woman. I nearly said something else there, but it's probably a bit harsh. Get rid. Once a cheat, always a cheat. What does it say? Eating's cheating. Oh, that's when you're out for a drink, but still could be classed as cheating in that sense as well. Someone said you could go and bang her mum. What if? Yeah, come on. We don't know the situation. We don't know the situation. Chelsea, really good start here. And that goes to the back post, but Chelsea still got it. Another cross into the box. That's a handball by Pedro Sorley, but the referee didn't see it. Not sure who the referee is. But I think he has seen it now. PSG just starting to get a foothold. Told you Chelsea have given more of a game. Oh, that's a good header back there by Neto. Caught in a bit of a difficult situation, but he heads it back to Sanchez. There's Pedro. If he puts the cross in, it's 1-0. Oh, why didn't he put the cross in? Gusto was free. Marquinhos not very happy there, but it's a good start. Good start. Right, let's come back to the chat here. I've lost my chat. Here we go. Does PSG have the two best wing-backs in the world? No, probably not, but I do like Hakimi and Mendes. I mean, what I would say is they'd both be in the conversation for best left back and best right back in the world. Good play by Cole Palmer. Gusto. This is a good start by Chelsea. It's an energetic start by Chelsea. It's a confident start by Chelsea. That goes out for a goal kick. Hi, Mark. Who is the best referee in your lifetime? Kalina, Christian. In fairness, her mum and dad are divorced. She is okay, this is Fraser. If we were linked with a 21-year-old goalkeeper in the Austrian league, we would be so excited and bringing YouTube comps of Vitek. How's the rib marks? It's a little bit better, but not amazing. Thank you very much for asking. Please share the video, everybody. We're nearly on 10,000 watching. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. I'm impressed with Chelsea. You know what? It's almost like I know what I'm on about sometimes. I did say this the other day when I watched PSG against Real Madrid. I did say Chelsea don't write them off. Here's Cole Palmer down the right-hand side. Good tackle by Mendes. Can't make the second tackle, but Gusto's there to win it. Yeah, it's good for Chelsea, isn't it, though? You know, you sort of look at it and you go, Could next season be a good one? Palmer! Oh! I thought he'd scored. I thought he'd scored until I saw him not celebrating. He's edge of the box. He's unmarked. I can't believe it. It should be 1-0 to Chelsea. He can't believe it. He can't believe it. I don't believe it. Comes to him on the edge of the box. Oh, I thought he'd scored. I thought like it was in the net. He curls it into the side netting and it goes behind the goal. It looked in. Remember, Bayern did give PSG a game. Real Madrid were terrible, but Bayern did give him a game. Unlucky, son. But it's really good from Chelsea at the moment. PSG just not been able to get their passing game going at all. It's a bit of a, I'd say it's a bit of a subdued first 10 minutes here. Bit better by PSG on the attack now. But Chelsea got lots of numbers back. Is it worse to be a plonker or a tosser, says Cinnamonson? I think plonker's a tamer word than a tosser, if I'm being honest. How is Gyökeres cheaper than Rasmus, says Joe? Well, it's Arsenal, isn't it? WXM says, dream referee lineup, ref, fourth linesman, VAR. Mate, shut up. I don't want to be rude, but get a life. Mate, you could have said dream for women. You could have said, you know, Mount Rushmore of free kick takers. You would be kicked if you were in a lads chat down the pub, and somebody said Mount Rushmore of free kicks, and everyone was in a good mood, get the drinks in, and then you said, I've got one. Dream referee lineup, ref, fourth linesman, and VAR. No, everyone would go home to a different pub and pretend to go home. Don't ever say that again, WX. Mullion. Don't ever think that that's a good conversation starter. That's dreadful. Was that Infantino's wife on the end? I don't know. I didn't know he was married. She really did not want to be there. Chelsea are clearly going to win this, says Nick P. If anyone can scam their way to pre-season primes money, it's them. Thank you very much, Nick. Hope you're doing well. Who wins? 5 Goldbridges or 1 Hippo? Mate, I'll get battered. Come on. You'd need a lovely ball out. Come on, PSG. This is a bit better. Doué. They've got an overlap. They've got an overlap. That's a great tackle by Casido. I don't know why Hakimi did not get that out of his feet. They look a bit slouchy, don't they, PSG? Do you think Trump likes football? Don't know. I don't. What's Infantino's background? He doesn't come across as with it at all. I mean, that whole letting Speed be FIFA president for a minute thing. I bet he was well happy with that. I bet he thought, I'm really down with the kids. Well, probably is down with the kids doing that, to be honest. But I don't think he's. I don't think he has got much of an idea about football, has he? Infantino. Bit of afters there between Casido and Hakimi. Thanks for your super chats, by the way. Got 12,000 watching. Thank you for everybody. Club World Cup final. It's over after this. What would you rather, lose both of your nipples or have to pierce them both and wear the piercing for 24/7? I mean, I will just say I don't have to read super chats. So there seems to be, I know it's school and work tomorrow and you might be feeling a little bit, you know, last dregs of the weekend, but I don't have to answer these questions. I'm trying to watch a decent game of football. I don't want to think about having no nipples or nipples pierced. Probably have no nipples. They don't serve any purpose for me. Why do men have them? Lovely ball out wide. And again, that's Hakimi's playing crap. What a chance it was for Cole Palmer. They're going to show it again. It was a lovely flick by Pedro as well. I think he's going to be a really good signing, João Pedro. I think Chelsea have landed on their feet with João Pedro. I always liked him at Brighton. Apparently England women are 2-0 up against Wales. Don't you just hate it when you get a here we go in a game? I absolutely hate the timing of this. I know, look, I don't blame Romano and I don't blame Ornstein, but why drop a deal when everyone's watching a game of football? I can't do a reaction to that. I'm watching this. It's really annoying. Sporting Lisbon confirm agreement in principle reached for Victor Gyökeres switch to Arsenal. Deal worth 63.5 guaranteed plus 10 million add-ons and 27-year-old Sweden striker waives fee to help facilitate move from Sporting. So there we go. Ornstein with the bomber there. Which means, oh, it could have been 1-0 to PSG. Doué could have shot himself, tried to square it, and messed it up. PSG coming back into it in the last 5 minutes. And Hakimi just palms it back. I want to see that replay. I want to see that replay there from PSG. Look good. Good start by Chelsea, though. I mean, look, we said it was going to be difficult for them, and it certainly is going to be difficult for them. But there's a chance that they could do something very, very special tonight. I mean, it'd be a big win for Chelsea, certainly. But PSG have been better in the last few minutes. Sorry, I'm just reading about this Gyökeres deal whilst we're live here. That's what I mean. I don't like it when There's a game on. Okay. Fabrizio hasn't done a here we go yet. But Ornstein's dropped the bomber. Beth says Delap should have picked United. Nice ball again. Here's Doué. Needs to pass. Good save. Sanchez got the shot off. So basically, 63.5 million euros for Gyökeres to Arsenal. What's that in 63.5 million euros? 63.5 euros in pounds. So 56.6 million is what Arsenal are paying for Gyökeres, plus another 10. PSG were Sporting were absolutely adamant that they wouldn't sell him unless they got what they wanted, but it feels like Gyökeres has waived some sort of commission, an agent fee, because they wanted 70 million plus 10 and he's gone for 63.5 plus 10, so it looks like 6.5 of it has been waived in agent commission to make the deal get done. So look, beyond that, I think this is the signing of the summer, in the sense that even if Liverpool bought Isak, or that would be an amazing signing, but Arsenal need a striker. It's been 2 years since Arsenal needed a striker. I think last season not having a striker cost them dearly. So this is a signing that Arsenal fans are going to be very, very excited about, but also the world of football is very intrigued about, because I think next season, when you look at the summer that Arsenal are having with the Zubimendi, the Madueke, the Gyökeres, and there are other players coming in as well, potentially Eze, they have to go and win that league now. I'm not saying that Arteta would get sacked if they didn't, but they finished second 3 times. This has to be their season to go and win it. And look, I think Wirtz is a good signing, Tyler. I'm not saying that Gyökeres is the signing of the season in relation to talent, etc. But Arsenal getting a striker is so important. And I think we've all been waiting to see who that striker is going to be. And I've got to say, as much as I would love to have seen Gyökeres at Manchester United, I think that gives you the hint of how good I think he is. I think he's an incredible striker, and I think he's going to score a lot of goals in the Premier League. And I don't get the doubt, really, that some people have about him. Cross comes in the box, they've cleared it there. I think he's going to be a fantastic signing for Arsenal. It always intrigued me, and maybe that was Arteta-led, that they wanted Sesko. I think Sesko, he's a work in progress. There's more of a risk to Sesko, whereas Gyökeres is ready now. And Arsenal need a striker to come in now. And that doesn't mean that Gyökeres won't flop, but he's 27. He comes in and he scores, or he comes in and he flops. Whereas with Sesko, he could come in and flop and it be because he's young. And I think they've made the right choice. Bit of a mistake here. Gusto, he will get the shot off. No, he won't. No, he won't. Now it's Cole Palmer. And he scores! 1-0. He didn't miss that time. He'd had a sighter, and now he's got his goal. And you've got to say, Chelsea are well deserved. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because I said, I don't know why people are writing Chelsea off. There's a bit of pushing and shoving going here. I don't know what's going on. There's lots of pushing and shoving going on. I'm sure the goal's been given. Donnarumma wants it back on the halfway line. But I said Chelsea got to score first. I said Chelsea got to score first. I said Chelsea got to be confident. And I said Chelsea got to defend well. And they've got to take their chances. And at the moment, they're doing all those things. Cole Palmer in 50 degrees, says Vassis. I think they were looking at... Mendes gets... I mean, Mendes and Hakimi are not having the best of games. Gusto does really well here. And Cole Palmer's finish is just beautiful into the bottom corner. That wand of a left foot, look, just passes it into the bottom corner. Pure quality. Sit down, haters. Just sit down, says Rub. This is all the fault of that one guy's girlfriend, says Perk. And Mark, thanks for all your work on football, whether it's the 10 a.m. shows or the 8 p.m. shows. Thank you very much, says George. Thank you, Bal. Hope you're doing well. Let us know where you're watching from, by the way. Nicholas Jackson to United incoming. Glinios out, says Steve Woodley. What animal has the largest chest? A zebra, says Cal. How much different would it have been if Sheikh Jazim's bid for the United instead of Radcliffe? Well, it'd be very different, wouldn't it? Because I imagine they would have approached it in a very similar way to Chelsea, where they'd have been hungry for success and found ways to spend money. It makes me laugh, actually, how, you know, some United fans defend the Glazers and Ineos by saying they can't spend any money. And I'm like, if the Qataris had bought Man United, they would have wanted to spend money, wouldn't they? So they could have done all the things that Chelsea have done. They could sell the women's team for £200 million and get £200 million into the club. This is what these morons don't understand. Like, Chelsea have shown the world ways to get money into your club if you want to. It wasn't offside, no. I think they were looking at an offside, but it wasn't offside. Killen says, since you started with YouTube and United Stand, do you have any favourite moment or something you look back to with great joy? I'll have a think on that. Thank you very much for your super chat, by the way. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Please do share the video. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Got daily content on here. Gyökeres to Arsenal is done. Ornstein's let it out in the last few minutes. Significant signing in a significant game, unfortunately. But Chelsea leading here 1-0 and good for it. Deservedly so. I'd say two things stand out as live streams. First one was winning the Europa League with Mourinho against Ajax on the United Stand. I enjoyed that. And lovely ball in behind, but he's not going to have the pace there to get away from Chalobah. The Colombia penalty shootout, funnily enough. I'd never seen England win a penalty shootout before. So, drinks break here. Are Forest becoming the villains of the Premier League, says Danny Lee. Wow, I mean, they can't put themselves into the tournament, can they? I mean, I presume it's down to UEFA that Palace are out of the Europa League. I mean, Forest are just the club that takes their place. Surely. Hi, Mark. Hope you're well. I just had a feeling Chelsea will beat PSG. Anyway, wish our club was this good in the transfer market, says Lee Cape Town. Yeah, I think a lot of people didn't expect Chelsea to do well, but look, PSG have had a very long season. Chelsea just seem to be very motivated in this tournament. They're defending very well. I mean, PSG should still win, but whatever happens, Chelsea have given a very good account of themselves. Hi, Mark says, sorry, 5-4 United win over Lyon was pretty special, says Raf. Nah, I've buried it, mate. Buried it like a cat buries a shit. It doesn't mean anything. I think it's like when Man United beat PSG on penalties in the... not on penalties. When we beat PSG with that penalty by Rashford, it didn't mean anything because we got knocked out the next game. I'm not... You know, Man United should be better than individual games that don't amount to anything. So no, that for me is buried now. They ruined it. Dylan says, off topic, I have let me read this properly, Dylan. Off topic, I have autism, and I'm a huge fan of you, Mark. Please carry on what you're doing because you're the reason I watch your channels. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you very much for your lovely super chat. Do you think Liverpool move again after the Gyökeres news, says Lee? I don't think the Gyökeres news does anything for Liverpool. They would know that Arsenal are going to buy a striker. And they would know it's going to be Gyökeres or Sesko. Look, if we're going to be completely honest, Liverpool had a game today. And I think this week they will be back in the transfer market, having had this week of adjustment and mourning because of what happened to Jota. They have their own transfer plans. I'm pretty sure that if that tragedy hadn't happened, Liverpool probably would be maybe would have made a sale and a signing this week. But they'll have their own plan, and they clearly do want a forward. I mean, they'd go for Isak, wouldn't they? Look, whether Isak goes to Liverpool this summer, which is unlikely, he probably goes there next summer because Arsenal aren't going to be looking at Isak now, are they? You don't sign Isak when you've got Gyökeres for 3 years or 4 years or 5 years. Trump's just made an inquiry about signing Palmer for the US national team, says Robbo. DV says Rasmus has a higher ceiling than Gyökeres at 28. Imagine if Amrim could turn Rasmus into the next Gyökeres. It might seem unlikely at the moment, but that was what I hope the plan was when he came in. Mark, I'm a Birmingham fan and just wondered what your chances of us getting promoted this season are. They're in again here. Cole Palmer. It's going to... 2-0. This is incredible. This is absolutely incredible. PSG... Well, I don't even want to say PSG are playing terrible. Chelsea are battering them. They're absolutely battering them. They're humiliating PSG. It's incredible. I mean, I'm waiting to see this as a replay, but it's just incredible. Incredible. They totally deserve it as well. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are quite annoyed by this, but honestly, as a pure game, I mean, it's another ball into the channel. Oh, it's just too easy. I mean, is that Vitinha that he walks past? It's really crap. Really crap defending, and he's on his left foot again. Donnarumma ain't going to do anything about that other than pick it out the net. He's had 3 shots on his left foot. He could have had a hat-trick. The reality is he's had 3 shots on his left foot from the edge of the box, and 2 out of 3 ain't bad, as Meatloaf once sang, but he could have had 3. There's nothing, what I'm trying to say is nothing lucky about this. It's totally and utterly deserved. I don't know whether I'm happy about it. I don't really want Maresca ball sorting out Chelsea, to be honest. Sorting out PSG. It's good tempo to the game though. I told you guys we'll cook PSG. Why you're all surprised? Cole Palmer's better than Messi, says Rub. How I wished Palmer played for United, says Andre Gomez. Cole Palmer's saying he got elbowed. We haven't seen a replay yet. Nah. He did catch him, but nothing deliberate. How much does Cole Palmer's barber charge? I'm sure it's a freebie. Langford says, do you think if a club finishes in the relegation zone but wins the FA Cup, they don't get relegated and that goes to 4th bottom? No. FA Cup's a different tournament to the Prem, mate. It's a silly idea in my mind. Do you agree with Langford? If you win the FA Cup, then you don't get relegated if you're in the relegation zone. Can't wait for your Premier League predictions. Going to be a great season regardless of United. My big prediction is West Ham to be relegated, says Jack. Sylvan says Jermaine Hewitt has married Macy. And Lee Cape Town says, I'm glad we didn't sign Delap. Hope he rots in the Chelsea bench and never gets in the England team. João Pedro's a lot better than Liam Delap. That's what I would say. But look, you do need depth, don't you? Be interesting to see if PSG have an answer to this, because they look rattled. They look really rattled. I'll tell you what I would say about Reece James. It's incredible that he's actually stayed fit for as long as he has, because I never thought he was going to stay fit for longer than a fortnight. Is an incredible amount of work that Neto and Gusto are putting in at the moment. They're sucking in Hakimi and Mendes, and then there's space in behind them that they're running into. Prem is going to be fire this year. No clear favourites, says Jonathan. Sir Jim Scrooge McDuck decide not to sign Mbeumo, says Hypochondriac. Paolo says, but Ineos and the Glazers keep telling us we'll have to be patient and wait years to improve. Chelsea owners turn it around in a couple of years. Dead club, says Paolo. Super Donut says, this is even more embarrassing if you're a United fan. Why? Why are United being brought into it? Pedro Neto's just been booked for some reason. I didn't see why there. 2-0 is a dangerous scoreline. It's great for Chelsea, though. I can't remember. I mean, I don't live in the United States, and I've got no idea about the Premier League support, but I think Chelsea have always been quite a well-supported team in the States, haven't they? I don't know why, but I think they have always been they have got quite a large support base. I wonder if I ask here. I should be able to find this out exactly. Based on a recent survey, the top 5 most supported Premier League teams in the USA are Liverpool, Manchester United, Manchester City, Chelsea, and Arsenal. Well, I tell you what, shame on you in the United States for supporting Man City, because no one does in the UK apart from people from Manchester. Casido's been booked as well. Need to keep their discipline. Don't want to play against PSG with 10 men. But yeah, you can see tactically what Chelsea have done here. Pulling in Neto and making it a back 5. We know what PSG are all about. Width. So that back 5. I mean, look at this again. It's just mistakes in that PSG side. Dependence on FF says dependence on rejuvenation project brings in a third party. United fans can protest, sign petitions, and lobby to reduce Glazer shares in return for tax dollars. That just went way over my head, FF. Good sweeper keep in there from Sanchez. United's main striker Target has been signed by Chelsea as a backup. It's mad, says Johnny. How much did Chelsea get for winning this, says Hypochondriac? I mean, it's about 100 million quid. They've already earned about 80, so it won't be far off 100. Arjun says, we basically funded the Cole Palmer move by buying Mason Mount, is what really annoys me, says Arjun. Better hair, Cole Palmer or Gareth Keenan, says Cinnamonson. And DV says, apparently Cole Palmer is a United fan. Can we make it happen? Yeah, it doesn't mean shit, mate. You know, he's not going to come to Man United to play in the relegation zone, is he? I tell you what, PSG are playing shit here. Really shit. Chelsea titles and Champions League contenders this season, says JH. As I said on the morning show, talking about transfers, if Chelsea sort the goalkeeper out, there's not really much of a weakness to that squad other than they've just got to deliver. There's a lack of experience there, but they're not kids. It's wonderful pressing by Chelsea here. I think the League One and League Two should go back to North and South, making more local matches and less of a climb up the ladder for small clubs, says Bebop. Oh yeah, somebody asked me about Birmingham, didn't they? I think Birmingham, I know a few Blues fans and they're quite, you know, playing it low key, but I think playoffs as a minimum will happen. That's my prediction. I think that we've seen Ipswich double bounce, so yeah, I think they'll do it. Just not creating any chance. I mean, Chelsea have literally done everything we spoke about. They've defended well, they've took their chances, and they've scored first. That's how you beat PSG. Do you think Chelsea will sign a goalkeeper? I do. I think with Petrovic going, it's nailed on. And whilst I thought Sanchez was quite good at Brighton, I don't think he's a number one for a team that wants to win the Prem. He's done well there, though. Punches the cross. They've got a 3v2 here. Look at the pace. Crap cross. Could have been 3-0. Oh, Kvaratskhelia, that's going to be a yellow card as well. Chelsea need to be careful here. Got 3 players on a yellow card. It's hot. It's stretched. That's Gusto. Chelsea, I think League have done that one from Bebop. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Please do share the video. Make sure you subscribe. Becky Hale's a new member. Thank you very much, Becky. These refs have been so bad this tournament, says Moomin. How do you think Wrexham will do? Says Reese. And Lord Farquhar says, lots of New York fans, Chelsea fans, because of Chelsea Manhattan. Brody says, do you think if United buy a midfielder, Bruno will go back to 10? We're not buying a midfielder. Do you think Kai Havertz still has a chance at Arsenal? Personally, I think he's going to push himself harder against Gyökeres for the number 9 spot. No, Crab. You don't buy Gyökeres and then say you're understudy to Havertz. Havertz will have to try and win his place. Maybe deeper. Maybe he'll compete with Odegaard. I don't know. A lot of kids in the US are City fans, says Colin. Educate them. Jason Graham says, as a Toon fan, not sure I feel about Ekitike. Turned us down to be a bench warmer at PSG a few years ago. Haven't watched much of him since. Well, he'd be a bench warmer for Isak then, won't he? Do you think PSG can come back into this? I think if they do, we get a good game. Natalie says, Tom Brady, the football goat, is in the house. It's been a good game. When we're used to seeing PSG turn up and obliterate sides. But look, I did say Bayern Munich in the quarterfinal did play quite well against them, just didn't take their chances. What's worrying is that Chelsea have shown just how bad Real Madrid are. Well organised. Thoughts on football club documentary shows, says Ross McRae Magician. Very rarely watch them. Who do you want to win, says Frankie. I don't care who wins as long as it happens in 90 minutes. I don't want to do extra time. And it looks like it will be. Pedro, 3-0. I'm just applauding this. I'm just applauding this. They're battering them. They're absolutely battering them. Statement. What a statement. I mean, you can't knock it. This is what football's all about. That's football. It's just, I'm no Chelsea fan, but they've been the better team. I can't knock it. They deserve it. I mean, it's more than a Club World Cup final. It's an obliteration of the best team in the world. Oh, I've just realised Chelsea are going to be able to say that they're the best team in the world, which they're clearly not, but they can say it, despite not finishing in the top 3 in England and not being in the Champions League for the last 2 years. But they did qualify it legit. They won it in the last 4 years. But it's a lovely ball. It's Cole Palmer with the assist as well. So he's got a goal. He's got 2 goals and assist. And João Pedro, this guy looks the business. I said it the other night. He looks the business. That finish is brilliant. Do you want Mayo on that chip? It was lovely. No, I don't see a way back for PSG now. I really don't see a way back for PSG now. They've created nothing. They've had 1 shot on target in the whole game. But you know what? It's great for the Premier League. It's good for the Premier League that we can do this. Because I really want to see a Premier League team winning the Champions League this year. Obviously, I don't want to see Liverpool or Man City win it. But I think we need to be winning the Premier League, the Champions League more. It's the best league in the world. And we need to start winning that. Lovely run here by Mendes. He's not going to do it all on his own. Jackson better start packing his bags, says Shalou. Put 6 past them, make them feel the Premier League heat, says Rub. Hi, Mark. Is it just me that this result shows the Prem is becoming the Super League due to the money and all the top players are going to the Prem and picking teams like Spurs over AC Milan or Juventus, says Luke. I think it's been like that for a while, Luke. I do. I think it's been like that for a while. We just haven't dominated Europe in the way that we probably should have done. But if you think about it, teams like Fulham, Nottingham Forest, etc., have been buying players that Atletico Madrid can't buy. So I just think we need to learn to compete in the Premier League and the Champions League. And I think that's where the change is. It's very evident that teams like Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea and Liverpool, whilst they want to win the Premier League, they realise that it's difficult to win the Premier League and the Champions League unless you've got big squads. And PSG are a club that for the last sort of 10 years has had a big squad. So I think what Liverpool and Arsenal and Man City and Chelsea are doing is they're building those squads now to compete for the Premier League and the Champions League, which we didn't really have. Man City did in a sense, but Arsenal and Liverpool never really had the big squads, and I think they're building them now. Io says, with Chelsea looking this good, could we be seeing the same top 4 confirmed for the next 5 years? I think so. I think that the money those clubs will get each year. I mean, basically, it's another £100 million over everybody else in the league. So you shouldn't be able to get anywhere near them. I mean, if you're playing in the Premier League and there are teams that are getting £100 million more revenue than you, then they should be able to just say, see you later. The Super League's already here, and it's the new Champions League, basically. That's why I don't think you'll see Perez pushing for a Super League anymore, because I think he's got the components of it with the Club World Cup and the Champions League. Surely Delap is regretting his decision to go and sit on Chelsea's bench. Pedro is 100% a starter all day long. Half a chance there for PSG from Neves, but 6 minutes added on here. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? We've not even had half time and it's 9 o'clock. Ben Godfrey says, not just the players are up for it, but Maresca showing he can tactically compete with the best. Look, from a tactical point of view, we have seen this a few times. And we've seen, I'm trying to think of big examples of this. There's a game that really comes to mind from last season and I can't remember it. But look at what I'm trying to say is we're sponsored by Manscaped, 20% off with the code footy. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. But what I was actually going to put up on the screen is this. Hold on a minute. Kvaratskhelia into the box. Good defending. Chelsea have had 30% possession and they're 3-0 up. Crystal Palace. Man City. Crystal Palace were brilliant at it last year. The ability to have very little possession but win a game comfortably. Did it against Villa in the semi-final as well. So, I don't think it's a bad thing, but you can win games of football like that. You can be 3-0 up with 30% of possession. And I think Maresca has had his critics at Chelsea. I don't think Chelsea will ever be a team under Maresca that has 70% possession and, you know, dominates the opposition. But in a game like this, the Maresca style of play really works very, very well, doesn't it? As I said, it's very obvious that they're playing a back five out of possession. And then they're looking to break efficiently and quickly. And that is, we said it at the start of the game. You were never going to beat PSG by dominating them with the ball. You had to beat PSG. You needed to score first, defend well, and take your chances. And they've done those three things. On Delap, look, I don't know what Delap was told, but surely he was told they were going to be looking to buy another striker. I mean, if they signed Delap and said you're my number one, you know, you've been tangoed, mate. United fans should petition and lobby with the UK government, says FF. Sign petitions and protest with key members of the government. That's the only path to block the Glazer rejuvenation project. Lobby to block funding, says FF. I think the government are all for it, mate, unfortunately. I think they like the idea of it. Sky Report Arsenal, Gyökeres close on deal, says CJ. I mean, slow sports news, mate. We've been talking about Ornstein and Ben Jacobs and Romano for the last hour. Why would we give a shit about what Sky have got to say? With all due respect, they're not the story here. We've been talking about it for ages. But he says, everyone else is riding off to the sunset while we sit around talking about Man United. Crazy what happens when you spend money, but it's okay because we're Man United and no one's bullying us anymore. Complete tool, says Joel. It's a shame that Real have got such a good upcoming tactical coach, but their front two neither press nor defend. Also, please read my previous chat, says SNS. As a United fan, makes me realise just how far behind we really are. Chelsea's an example of investment pays off, says Adzi. Leon says, hopefully United's board look at our competition signings and step it up. We need a prolific striker. No, they won't, Leon. United's board are only interested in the rejuvenation project. That's all they're there for. And that will take years to happen. In which time Chelsea will earn about $500 million, Arsenal will earn $500 million, and they'll be gone. Krupp says, I'll never understand how people say Maresca is so bad. With Chelsea looking this good, I've done that one as well. Thank you very much. So it's half time here. And 3-0 to Chelsea. It's going to take a hell of a comeback from PSG. And tactically, I think they've really struggled against this back five and energy that Maresca's put in play. and the efficiency to take your chances as well. It is very Crystal Palace FA Cup run from Chelsea, and that's fine. Because some people will say, oh, you're parking the bus. I haven't got a problem with it. I haven't got a problem with it. Chelsea were never going to win this game by having 70% possession and dominating PSG. The only way to win it was to do it like this. And they've nullified the PSG threat by defending well. They've been more aggressive than them. They've countered well. They've took their chances. And that is why they're winning the game. The tactics are spot on. Maybe Chelsea in the future want to evolve into a team that can play like PSG, but at the moment they're not there. And like the way Crystal Palace won the FA Cup, you play to your strengths. You defend well, you take your chances. And they've overpowered them, and they've bamboozled them, and they've caught them out. And I did say, don't write Chelsea off the other night. And lo and behold, there we go. SNS says Chelsea will go mad in the market if they win. With Arsenal, Liverpool already doing good business, we already have a top 4 while we'll be 10th. Thank you very much, SNS. I just wanted to find that. Why do you think Chelsea beat PSG? Because PSG, look, it's 70-30 on possession. PSG haven't done anything different. They get the ball, they look to move it quickly, and they are very, very big on width. What's Maresca done? He's basically brought in a back 5. What does back 5s do? Nullify width if you defend well. They've got 3 in the midfield. They've got a back 5. They basically leave Cole Palmer and Pedro up front. You've got Reece James, Enzo and Casido battling in the midfield. And then you've got Neto and Gusto as wing-backs. And it's very hard to play through when they want to go down the wing. They can't go through the middle because Dembele's not going to be able to compete with Chalobah and the other centre-back. So, look, I think it's been a very clever way. Obviously, if PSG score first, it's a different game, but they haven't. So, I think it's been tactically very good from Chelsea. A masterclass, I agree, winning ways. And as good as PSG are, they're not invincible. Spurs ruined our season by parking the bus, says Pirate Premium. Mark Nonsense, Inquirer himself, said Chelsea are similar to us. All data shows Chelsea and PSG are the most similar teams. Parking the bus, what bus? Hader, I don't want to get into an argument when I've just spent the last few minutes complimenting Chelsea, but I don't care what Luis Enrique said. If you think Chelsea and PSG play similar football, then you're an idiot. You're 3-0 up with 30% possession, mate. If you play similar football, why don't you keep the ball? It's been a brilliant performance by Chelsea, but they don't play like that. I know loads of Chelsea fans. They don't like the way Maresca plays football. He's not a possession-based manager. He's not somebody who, goes out there and plays on the front foot. He's a well-organised coach, and I think he deserves some credit for what he did last season, but there was a lot of Chelsea fans sort of turning on him. I think this has been brilliant. I think it's very exciting for Chelsea. But do you think they can win the league next year? I think Liverpool and Arsenal are firm favourites for that. I think there's 2 things Chelsea need to do to win the league next year. 1, this team needs to evolve and grow up, because I think it's still a bit inexperienced. And 2, I think they've got to get a goalkeeper. I still think that goalkeeper is a weak spot. I think they had 2 weaknesses going into the summer: goalkeeper and striker. In João Pedro, I think they've sold it. In Delap, they've probably got a very hungry understudy. But they need a goalkeeper. What's also going to be interesting is how much of an impact this tournament's going to have on them. Like, they've basically gone from winning the Conference League straight into this tournament. It's the middle of July. Most footballers, Arsenal footballers, Liverpool footballers, have had a month off. They're going into the Champions League, which they've not been in for a couple of years. And they're going to try and win the Premier League. They could do it, but burnout probably is a thing, I suppose, as well. Chelsea hit and run tactics only work for so long, says CJ. No, I don't think it's part of the bus in that sense. What I'm saying is it's a bit like Crystal Palace. And I liked Crystal Palace in the Cup. They defended well and they countered in a really creative way. Like, I thought, you look at some of the goals that Crystal Palace scored in the FA Cup. They weren't like defend, counter, win free kicks, score set pieces. They were clean goals. Like when you look at like the breakaways that they were scoring with people like Essie and Mateta, it was good. And Chelsea have done the same. You can't go toe to toe with PSG. I don't think anybody can at the moment. So I think it's been a really good performance from them, and fair play. Whatever you think about the tournament, whatever you think about the money, whatever you think about the contestants, it's a shock. It's a shock. We are so back. Chelsea going for the Champions League next year, says MC Binks. Fabrizio Romano just confirmed Arsenal will pay initial fee worth 63.5 plus add-ons. Here we go soon. I think Ornstein did it an hour ago, mate, but there we go. Nonsense. Enrique, I've done that one from Hader. He's talking nonsense. Is it okay to be a fan of multiple football teams? Not really, KD. Chelsea have made more than 2 million in revenue by qualifying to the Champions League and getting to the final of this competition. That's how much money United have generated in the past 5 years, says Abraham. Yeah, I mean, it just reminds me, actually, I just want to put a tweet out. Let me, I can't do it because it's slow. I'll do it in a minute. They're just showing the goals back. All clean, all efficient, all ruthless, all clinical. No luck involved. Just a very good performance from Chelsea. Yeah, it's mad, Abraham, isn't it, really, when you think, oh, here we go, half time. Who is it? I've got no idea. I can't hear her, and I haven't got her album. No idea. She's loving it. That is incredible. Welcome to the new world of football, by the way. I mean, it's so hard for the Aston Villas, the Newcastles, Manchester United, I suppose. Chelsea have earned £200 million in 2 months. Now, obviously, you're not going to do that in August and September, and you're not going to do it in November and January, December. But, wow. You know, you finish in the Champions League spots, you're guaranteeing yourself 100 million quid. You get yourself into the Club World Cup and get to the final, you earn yourself another 100 million quid. £200 million in earnings. I mean, that's just incredible. And that's all FFP compliant. They've sold a load of players as well. Chelsea are brilliant at that. But that £200 million makes Chelsea ridiculously cash efficient and rich. Yeah, the future looks very good for Chelsea. And they've done it all on relentless ambition. I mean, how much has Todd Bowley spent at that football club? And he's been ridiculed, by the way. Todd Bowley's been ridiculed. And I think somebody needs to call this out. And it's probably going to be me. He came up with the idea of the North versus South. He was ridiculed as a stupid American who should stick to American sports and doesn't know what he's on about. He was ridiculed as somebody who's got no idea what football is all about. And yet, yeah, look, haphazard at times. But I always said to Chelsea fans who were getting frustrated, you'd surely rather have an owner that is relentlessly spending stupid money and won't stop than an owner that won't spend money. And where you are now, you can't really complain about it. Yeah, look, removing Conor Gallagher probably wasn't a nice thing to do because he's a young player, etc. But look at your midfield now. the fact that the vast turnover of players at times, look at Madueke, new shiny toy 2 years ago. Now you're selling him, but pretty much everything they've done has worked because you're now in the Champions League. You're probably never going to leave. You're now going to win the Club World Cup, which is prestigious, beating the best team in the world. You've earned massive amounts of money. You've got a squad that is pretty much ready to go for the next 5 years, and you'll keep adding to it. So who's the idiot? The people who called Todd Boehly a stupid idiot who doesn't know what he's on about, or Todd Boehly? And I look at it and I go, look, yeah, there's been mistakes. Some of the stuff's weird, selling the women's team, etc. But the reality is, no rules have been broken. And here they are, destroying PSG, back in the Champions League with a squad that people are talking about maybe competing for the Champions League and the Premier League. I wouldn't be complaining if that was Man United's tactic at all. I think obviously, as a non-Chelsea fan, I would look at it and want it to fail because you always want to ridicule people that are a threat. But it's been an absolute success. They've still got Esteval to come in as well. Still got Gittins to come in as well. Look, I think we're in for a very exciting top 4 race in the Premier League, but I think it's nailed on. I think relegation's become obvious, and I think the top 4 race is going to become obvious. Doesn't mean the top 4 race on who finishes where won't be interesting, but how Chelsea have got themselves back amongst the elite in Europe in such a quick period of time, I tell you what, what would you rather have? Chelsea's approach of spending a couple of billion as quickly as you can and looking where it gets you, or Barada and Sir Jim's plan of 2028 by not spending any money and sacking people? I mean, I know this is not the United stand, but as United fans, we've always been very concerned and confused on how you infiltrate football's elite by cutting costs, when every team that's been successful in most of our lifetimes has fundamentally done it on spending money. I can't think of a team that's cut costs and climbed the league to the top. I can't. If you can, please do that as a no in the chat. But Newcastle came from nowhere and was suddenly, fighting for a title under Keegan. Blackburn came from nowhere and won the title with Shearer. Money. Was it Sir John Hall and Sir Jack Walker? Chelsea, Abramovich's billions. They came through, won titles. Man City, millions. They've won titles. Now Chelsea again. You can see it happening. Look, Real Madrid don't do it on the cheap. PSG haven't done it on the cheap. I don't think that there are clubs out there that can dominate football without spending money. Look, Leicester City. Look, mate, look, we're having a grown-up conversation, D. We're talking about football now, getting in the Champions League every year, being with the footballing elite. Where are Leicester now? Back in the Championship for the second time since they won the league. Yeah, well done, Leicester. You won the league and it was fantastic. But are they in football's elite? Or were they a one-hit wonder? It was amazing what Leicester did, but they're not in the football. That's not... Would you want to be Leicester as a Man United fan or a Spurs fan? Would you want to win the league and then disappear for relegation? We're not talking about that. We're talking about modern football and winning things and being part of footballers' elite. What Leicester did was crazy. It was brilliant. There was reasons for it, and they deserved to win it. But it was a flash in the pan. It was a one-off. I'd be amazed if we saw it again. I think the closest we've seen to it was Crystal Palace winning the FA Cup. But you need to spend money to win the league. You definitely need to spend money if you want to be in the Champions League. You're not going to do it without that. Kay says, what about Liverpool? You've got a Liverpool badge, mate. What about not spending money, do you think, got Liverpool back to the top? I mean, you've got a Liverpool badge. I'm not a Liverpool fan. Do I need to explain that you didn't do it without spending money? What did Coutinho do then? Was it £150 million nearly a decade ago? You've got to spend money. But you know what? You've got to spend money well. Man United have spent £1 billion in the last year, and we may as well put it on a bonfire. So you got to spend money well. And quite rightly, a lot of people say about United, well, you've spent $1 billion and look at where you are. Yeah, we spent it badly. So we still need to spend it again, need to spend it well. But look, if you're Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, you're laughing. You're in the top 4. You're building super teams. You're playing good football. You're going to be competing for the league. You're going to be top 4 next year. You're going to get another 100 million. You're going to buy more good players. It's exciting. I think if you're Villa, Spurs, Newcastle, it's going to be very difficult to get into that top 4 race. I think the only thing we need to hope is that we keep getting the 5th place. If we keep getting the 5th place, that could be quite useful for whoever can get that. But that's only dependent on teams doing well in Europe, which hopefully we will do. Hopefully we're going to start to see Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City consistently hitting the semi-finals. I see why you're not paying attention to half time, says Jide. I don't have the noise on. I don't know what that was. Yeah. I'm tired of these American sports type things like halftime shows on walk-ins. They lack to respect football set standards and practice. Mate, it's nearly 9:20 and we haven't even kicked off the second half. I respect our American cousins, but this is not how we do football. It kicks off at 8 o'clock and it's over by 10 unless it's going to extra time. We don't kick games off at 8:10 and then start the second half at 9:30 and then finish a normal game at fucking 11 o'clock. They need to get this moving. It's silly, really. LeBron James is part of the ownership of Livershit and he's 20 plus years as a player. Coming into the NBA at 18, he knows it all. United best in class bullshit, says J Lord. You think Brentford is in trouble next season, says OTG. Yeah. I mean, it's very difficult to predict. I don't know in my Premier League predictions if I would go against my 3 up, 3 down relegation is over. But if one of Leeds, Burnley or Sunderland, or even better, 2 of them can get it right and find way to win games, then I think Brentford are in trouble. I don't think their manager's a good appointment. I think Mbeumo and Norgard are going to be a big miss. And let's not forget, Wizard could go as well. So, yeah, I think Brentford look a bit vulnerable. I think Wolves will be all right because I think they've got a good coach. Yes, they're going to lose Cunha, but I think they've got a good coach. But I'd still say at this moment in time, 3 up, 3 down, until we see what Sunderland, Burnley and Leeds are about, because the gap has been so big. Yeah, I would still say that. Someone said selling the women's team was a masterstroke. I'm not saying that because people will judge me, says Rub. How did you sell the women's team, though? Like, who owns it? Tesco? Like, who did you sell it to? Like, genuinely, if it's legal, why is there? I know Villa were looking at doing it. I mean, it's just a great way to get money into your club. It's brilliant. I mean, somebody said to me that the Chelsea women's team is actually only worth about 20 million, but they sold it for 200. I don't know who they sold it to either. But to be fair, if it's a loophole to get money into your club, fair play. At least you've got an owner that wants to get his money in. I'm surprised Newcastle hasn't done it. Man United can still have a great window. The players on the out will blink first and their lower wage demands to make sure they find the new team with aims to have a good season before the World Cup. Let's hope, says Rami. I disagree. We can't have a good window now, mate. I don't think we can. If only we had Ted Bowley in Arsenal too, says OJ. You have done all right. Arsenal are doing all right. Subamendi, Gyökeres. All right, Madueke should have been Rodrigo, but, you know, you're doing all right. Doing all right. You know that picture of the MetLife Stadium and New York there? Doesn't look very far. It can take up to 2 hours. Hope you guys are liking our American hospitality, says DV. It'll get even better and better. I can't wait for the World Cup next year, DV. This Club World Cup is like a bloody car boot sale compared to what the World Cup's going to be like. It's going to be great. Who is the best team in London, Mark, says Zach? Well, I'd say it's Arsenal because second in the Premier League 3 years in a row. Premier League's the elite competition. But look, Chelsea look interesting. Mbappe and Vinicius are great individual players, but not very tactically disciplined. Have Real unintentionally built another Galacticos team? Well, Perez should have known better, but the Mbappe deal, everybody knew that was that. How are we not starting the second half? How are we not starting the second half? Yeah, I mean, seriously, it's like I'm watching the NFL. How have we not started the second half? I'm not joking. Like, why have we not started the second half? I mean, I enjoy the conversation, but for God's sake, this is a joke. Imagine doing this next year when it's like Latvia against Scotland. Get on with it. PSG need a true number 9, says TJ. Chelsea had the 3rd best possession last season, says Jordan. And would you amputate a limb for a United treble? No, Cappy. No, I wouldn't. Why should I lose a limb because our owners are shit? Mark, you think Chelsea should go for Stegen, says Mess. I think they need to go for a good goalkeeper, yeah. Thank you very much for those. I think I've caught up now. You'll know in the first 10 minutes of this next half if the game is fully over, says Raf. Ah, come on. No, I don't see. I mean, look, it'd be great, but I don't see it. Anyway, players are on the pitch now. DAZN are going to talk to Donald Trump. Wow. If we had Todd Bowley, we would have Rodrigo and Sesko, says OG. England have such football standards, but where's your Euros or World Cup trophy? 3 Lions ain't no better than the USA squad, says J. Law Lloyd. Don't know why this is descending into United States against England, mate. No one's interested in that. I don't really care that much about England. If Argentina is the best in the world after winning World Cup, then Chelsea are best club in the world too if they win this, says Umar. Okay, you tell yourself that, mate. Do you think with an informed Palmer and what the team has been showing, Chelsea might have a legit shot at the Premier League title, says Andre. Let me just get the second half started here. Well, I hope we're going to get the second half started here. Just talking about Chelsea and the title, goalkeeper needed. Step up in experience needed, i.e. they need to believe they can do it. One outlier is how impacted they're going to be from this and how tired they might get. But if they start the season well, I think you can... look, if Chelsea start the season well, I think you can live off that vibe all season. But if they start the season tired, then I don't know what... I'll have a look. I think Chelsea have got quite a good start to the season, though. Liverpool and Arsenal have got quite difficult starts to the season, but I think Chelsea have got quite a good start to the season. I'll confirm that in a moment. I'm just waiting for this game to kick off. I mean, bloody hell. 23 minutes past 9 and the second half's not started. You know, in a normal Champions League game, second half would have started at about 5 to 9. 25 past 9. It's like when they used to add all that time on in the Premier League that season, remember? And they'll have a water break. There we go. Hi, Mark. Big fan. Saw you in Poundland the other day. No, you didn't. So whoever you saw in Poundland that you thought was me and you got a little stiffy on wasn't me. This is his words. Saw you in Poundland the other day and got a stiffy. Do you think it means I'm into men? I don't know, but it wasn't me and I wasn't in Poundland. PSG on the attack. Good defending again. Luna says, I'm not going to lie, I still think PSG are going to win this. Can't believe there are still so-called United fans gaslighting us about Ineos and Radcliffe. Chelsea showing us how to come back from the dead, says Sanya. I know. Have you watched any F1 this year? No. Oh, no. I tell a lie, Stephen. I've watched a little bit of it. McLaren, one of their drivers will win it, won't they? They've got the best cars. The trouble with F1 is, most of my life, there's always a car that's better than everybody else's. And F1 would be brilliant if you had 2 or 3 cars that were pretty much the same, but there's always one car that's better than the others. And oh, you see, keeper there. Got lucky. Been watching compilations of Banana there. Shot straight at him, palms it back in like it's volleyball. Yeah. Chelsea's powers it'll be going, this is why we need a goalkeeper. Look. That's terrible goalkeeping, that is. Chelsea sold women's to themselves, basically, says Dan. Yeah, I'd heard that, but I mean, look, obviously we're live. It's very difficult to get it across, but they did it for 190 million, didn't they? Would you take Ramos at United, says Omar? I would now. I think when we got linked to him in May, I wouldn't have done it, but I would now. Mohammed says, I think Birmingham will get promoted, and I felt Leeds will buy well and not get relegated, but we need to see them play first, says Mohammed. Have you had a drink tonight? No, God, no. I've had enough this weekend. Hot weather. I mean, I only had I think I only had 3 Peronis last night, but it doesn't do you any good in this weather. Sleep-wise, I'm looking forward to a night of no alcohol, proper sleep. Suleiman says, what Chelsea did is basically like if you sell That's Football to a parent company called Goldbridge & Co. So why doesn't everybody do it? But I'll tell you why everybody doesn't do it. Do you want to know why everybody doesn't do it? Because basically, Todd Bowley wants to get £200 million into that club so they can buy people. So he sells Chelsea women's team to a parent company and £200 million goes into the club because he wants to put £200 million of his money into the club. Now, the reason other clubs don't do it is because, let's say, Manchester United, Sir Jim and the Glazers, well, the Glazers have never put £1 in. So they'll be like, well, we could do it, but we're not going to do it because we don't want to put our own money in. And other clubs like Fulham might go, well, we could do it, but we don't want to put our money in. So it's good if you are a club that wants to get your money in, which is why I think Villa have looked at it, because they would love to get their money in. I'm surprised Newcastle haven't looked at it. Danny says, we laugh at Bowley, but I'd love him at United. I don't laugh at Bowley. I think they've been, I think sometimes their transfer activity is chaotic, and it takes a bit of getting used to, but I've always said his heart's in the right place. He wants Chelsea to be, well, where they are. Winning the Club World Cup, winning, getting in the Champions League, winning the Champions League. That's what he wants. And that's what you want in charge of your football club. You want owners who want you to be successful. I don't know what the end game is with Bowley, though, because they have got shareholders. So, lovely play here by PSG. Vitinha. Can they get one back? No. Yeah, I don't know what the end game is with Chelsea. I don't know whether their end game is to sell it. Considering Osimhen is off to Galatasaray and there aren't many proven strikers in the market, would midfield be a priority and would you trust Rasmus and Xerxes? No, I wouldn't trust them. I like them both, but you can't... If we go into a season like that without buying a striker when we wanted a striker and then it doesn't work, Amrim's going to lose his job. So it's not that I don't trust Xerxes and Rasmus. I just think it's a failure of the manager. We wanted Delap. We wanted Gyökeres. They went to Chelsea and Arsenal. You can't then go, well, let's not get one, because that's just not backing your manager. He clearly wanted a striker. You get him a striker. It's not about Xerxes or Rasmus. It's about he wanted a striker and you didn't get him one. Gibbs White getting traded to Tottenham from Forest is a disgrace, says the Taco. Considering it, Osimhen, I've done that one from Zeus. PSG comeback, says Zach. Lovely play. Dembele. Oh, what a save by Sanchez. I thought that was in. Maybe he is going to be the number one now. I don't think Dembele quite connected on it, to be fair. But it was a good save. It was a good save. Yeah. It's got no pace on it at all, to be fair. If he'd have had pace on that, he wouldn't have been able to save it. But good reactions. Mexico will win the 26 World Cup. Says Abraham. Are Mexico any good? Because I always like watching Mexico in the World Cup, and they always play good football, but they never really have a good enough team to do it. I'm always like that in the major tournaments, though. I wanted Austria to do well in the Euros and Switzerland, but they just didn't have enough quality. Well coached, but didn't have the quality. I'd love somebody to win it that's not somebody that's already won it, but they will. Didn't Mexico play the United States not long ago? Portugal will not win the World Cup, Emmanuel. The biggest problem that Portugal have got is the manager is the Spanish Gareth Southgate. If Portugal had, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a good coach for Portugal. I mean, obviously, someone like Luis Enrique or Pep, but you know what I mean. Like, if they had a good coach, they would win it. But they're not going to win it with Martinez. Martinez also only picks certain players. You think they'd win it with Amorim? I don't know. Sorry, do you think they'd win it with Mourinho? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. It's hard to say. The game's not done yet. It is. It is. You can't. I think PSG will struggle to score 3 goals. You think about PSG against Liverpool in Paris, couldn't put the ball in the back of the net and then lost. You think about PSG in Paris against Villa, loads of chances, couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. So I don't think they've got 3 goals in them. Good, great team, best team in the world, but I don't think they've got 3 goals in them from this point. They'll probably win the second half, but I can't see them winning the game 3-0. Oh, here we go. Pedro on the break. Well, I tell you what, that certainly wasn't a tackle, ref. That's a pen. That's a pen. There's no tackle there. It's soft, but that's a pen. I'll love to see that again, but there's just no. It's soft, but there's no touching of the ball. Not going to see a replay, are we? Anyway, Chelsea showing that they can break away there. Cole Palmer. He's played a lot of football, Cole Palmer, hasn't he? That's what worries me. Worries me about for England, you know, in a year's time. Thought World Cup in US while Trump deports migrants, says Abraham. Don't know what that means. Where you see England ending up in the World Cup next year, says Aaron. I think England would do well to get to the semi-finals next year. We just don't. We look really bad at the moment. The fact that the fact that Jordan Henderson is being picked says everything. Think he'll bring on Delap? I'm sure we'll see substitutions. It's way too hot. Told you it was a penalty. He's got his shirt. Thank you. Can I have apologies now? It's definitely a penalty. Can't believe it didn't get reviewed. He knows it was a bloody penalty as well. Told you it was a pen. I mean, look, if that happens on the halfway line between Enzo Fernandez and Vitinha, it's a foul. Dalibor says it was definitely you in Poundland. Looks exactly like you. Very pretty. How many Chelsea players getting United's all-time 11? Says Palmer FC. Shut up. An all-time Man United 11 and you think one of these lot are getting in? Shut up, mate. Come on. You're doing well. Enjoy it. Don't start overhyping it. Chelsea look very good. I just can't respect them because of how they conduct their transfer business. Sign 3 players a week. Couldn't name half of them, says Colin. Yeah, but you wish it was your club. That's the thing. I get the bitterness. Trust me. I feel it myself. But we all wish it was our club. Thought World Cup in us. Okay. How many Chelsea players getting? I've done that one from Palmer FC as well. Thank you very much. Barcola's coming on now. Still half an hour to go. Kvaratskhelia has been very disappointing tonight, hasn't he? I mean, you do wonder with these PSG players as well. They've had a very long season. So have Chelsea, though. You know, let's not say that they haven't. But yeah, very, very quiet game from Kvaratskhelia. I can see Chelsea getting a 4th here as PSG have to commit more and more. Or if he got that right, it could have been. Ooh, another shot from distance there. Vitinha. I think it has gone for a corner as well. Yeah, good save. Good save. I wouldn't mind seeing a bit of Liam Delap, actually. Oh, good defending again. Pedro. Centre forward doing a centre back's work there. Goes for another corner. Santos coming on here for Chelsea. And Enzo Fernandez going off. Thanks everyone who's tuned in, by the way. I mean, look, I enjoyed the PSG Real Madrid game. I've been very against the Club World Cup, you know I have, in the sense that I just think, well, no, I don't need to say what I think everybody else thinks, but the reality is it's over now. I'm glad it's over, but I have enjoyed the last sort of semi-finals and the final. Because I think when the summer's on, you sometimes do want to watch football, but I think hopefully if they do one again in 4 years' time, they'll get the best teams in the tournament in the world in it. I.e., I don't know how they'll figure it out, but they can't do it again where you don't have the Premier League champions, the Serie A champions, La Liga champions. It's hard to predict though, isn't it? Because they want to get it scheduled way before the end of the season. I wonder where they'll do it next. Finals this year have been anticlimactic, besides maybe Crystal Palace FA Cup, says J Law. Oh, Palmer says all-time Chelsea players. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I can't be arsed. It's Sunday night. This game's been going on forever. So basically, you want a Chelsea versus Manchester United all-time 11. Yeah, I think that would take a little bit more than a couple of minutes. I still think Man United would dominate it. That's all we got. All we got is the past. Got no future. Is Casido a top 10 midfielder in the world? Who are the top 10 midfielders in the world? Is Partey still contracted to Arsenal? No, Robbo96, no. Thoughts on Chelsea using so many academy players, says Lord Farquhar. They've always had a very good... I mean, Chelsea have always had a very, very good youth system. They still do. How many of them actually make it through and how many get sold is up for debate, but they've always had a very good academy. Oh, I'll tell you what I wanted to do. Chelsea's start to the season. So, I don't know. We've got some Chelsea fans, surely. What are your plans after this? And I don't mean your plans. Don't tell me you're off to bloody Blackpool for the weekend. Like, what do Chelsea do now? Do they have any pre-season, or are they going straight into the first game of the season? Because their first game is 4 weeks today. So it's sort of dangerous to let them have a holiday, isn't it? So they go on holiday for 3 weeks. Oh no, there is a pre-season. Well, they can't have a 3-week holiday and then have 2 pre-season games, surely. Let's have a look. Chelsea pre-season games. Chelsea play Leverkusen on the 8th and AC Milan on the 10th, both at Stamford Bridge. So they're probably gonna get a couple of weeks break then, aren't they? Probably have a 2-week break, and then if you want 2 weeks today would take you to end of July, and then a week ahead of your pre-season games, and then 2 weeks until your first game. They play Palace first game of the season at home. That's a good start. You got West Ham away. That's a good start. And then Fulham at home. So that's a very good start for Chelsea, considering what Arsenal have got, what Liverpool have got. There's not really I could see Chelsea winning their first 3 games of the season, basically. Palace, West Ham, Fulham. 2 of them at home. And then in September, Brentford away, Man United, Brighton. I mean, it's a good start for Chelsea, that. They've not really got anybody difficult to play. Brighton, United, Brentford, Fulham, West Ham, Palace. So it's a good start to the season, that. Can't argue with that. I mean, you'd be worried if you had like an Arsenal in the first 2 games, wouldn't you? You know, Arsenal fresh. You've had a difficult summer, but if they can use their squad in them first 6 games and win them all, by the time you start playing the real games, everyone will have had a rest. Typical hire and fire technique: sack 5 players, hire 3, do more work, save the pennies. That's United now, sadly. Save more to spend more, says Pirate at the Perineum. Thank you, pal. Would Peak Hazard get in? He's my favourite player, says Palmer FC. Oh, I don't want to do it, mate. I know I'm a United fan, and I know I do the United stand, but I don't want to sit here when Chelsea are about to win the Club World Cup and leave Hazard out of a combined Man United Chelsea all-time 11. Chelsea are doing very well. I don't want to sort of, wind Chelsea fans up when I don't need to. Will you do watch-alongs for United's pre-season games, says Mendo. We always do. We always do. I actually quite enjoy them when they're like early hours in the morning. Yeah, it starts on Saturday afternoon against Leeds. We've got, at least we're not, you know, the good thing about United's pre-season games, and it's a bit like Chelsea with Leverkusen and Milan, at least they're interesting. I hate it when you play Wrexham. Well, not Wrexham now, but I hate it when you play like teams that you know you're going to beat. At least Leeds will be up for it, and West Ham and Everton and Bournemouth will be up for it. Genuine question, would you rather England win the World Cup or United win the FA Cup? I'm FA Cup personally. I get why people may think that's bad. I'd rather England win the World Cup than United win the FA Cup. Yeah. Because I've seen United win the FA Cup loads and I've never seen England win the World Cup. But I'd rather Man United win the Premier League than England win the World Cup. And people will say, well, you've seen them win the Premier League. But I'm like, come on. United winning the Premier League from this point would be bloody special. Here's Liam Delap. Good play. Tell you what, that was good play. Harry Kane-esque. Red Green's just called him to crap. He's just ran the ball, skipped past the defender, and forced a world-class save from Donnarumma. That was good. That was good play. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. We are only 10 subscribers away from 363,000. We've got daily content on the channel. Oh, it's all getting a bit pushy and shovey here now. PSG won't like losing. Ryan Powell says, I hope United can get a decent striker. How are they going to get a decent striker now? Osman's gone. Gyökeres is gone. Obviously, they wanted Delap, whether he's decent or not. He's gone. Ekitike is just not possible. I think the best they can do is somebody like a Mateta. Reece James is down, but I think it's cramp. What are they doing? They're bringing a big bloody snake on. What's this? Oh my God, this is going to be another delay. What's that coming on the pitch? I know. It's massive. Are they sprinkling water on the pitch? It's gone now. Oh no, it's here. Ollie Watkins, I think, would be too expensive at 29. I don't want Nicholas Jackson. I'd rather have Samuel L. Jackson. At least he could give a good team talk. Celtic fan from Galway, but plenty of enjoyment on your two channels over the years. Bulmer's on me, says John. Thank you, pal. I haven't had a Bulmer's in years. Used to be very popular, that did. Jack Rankin, thank you very much for joining the members club. Appreciate that. What's your first watch along from here? Oh God. I mean, look, we have the daily show about transfers and stuff that will continue all the way through till the end of August. But yeah, we predominantly, when the season's up and running, it's about. So I think the next game we'll do. I can't think of any game before the Premier League starts. Will be Liverpool against Bournemouth on Friday the 15th of August at 8 o'clock. And then Villa against Newcastle on the Saturday at 12:30. And then Man United Arsenal on the Sunday. Fancy a bit of that. Can't wait. I'll you know, my only trepidation about the Premier League is the referees. I think we've forgotten about that. We get all excited about our fancy Premier League and our Premier League predictions and all the transfers, and we get all excited about that. But I do think we're sleeping on the referees. I mean, look, I'm a United fan, and I can't believe Howard Webb has not apologised to Aston Villa. He probably cost them £100 million by not giving them that penalty, and there's not even been an apology. I might be wrong, but I don't think the PGMOL have even acknowledged it. I don't think they did. I don't think they even acknowledged they got that wrong. I think it was just like, that's the end of the season, let's all go on holiday. Like, it was like the season ended. Yeah, I mean, that was such a penalty. I mean, not a penalty. It should have been a goal. Man United should sign Santi Jimenez. He's only just gone to AC Milan in January, mate, so that won't happen. Mateta will be playing in Europe next season, so a move to United may be a step down for him. This is Robbo. Yeah, he's only going to be playing in the Conference League. Robbo. What if Trump buys United from the Glazers? This is tricky. Don't think he can. Thanks everyone who subscribed, by the way. I think we have hit 363,000 legends. Thank you very much. Get involved with That's Football. Everybody's welcome. Doesn't matter who you support. Daily content on the channel. Some people call it a Liverpool channel in the comments. And, you know, I presume this is banter. It's not my fault Liverpool had a very good June and no one else did. It's very hard to do content around Man City because nobody's interested in it, including me. Arsenal have only just started getting going. Chelsea have had a little bit. But it's mainly Liverpool doing stuff, isn't it? Whoops says, did you watch the Preston Liverpool game? I must be honest, I really cried for the tribute. I didn't even know they were playing until I just put my phone on and I saw all the tributes and that, which was obviously amazing. But no, I didn't even know Premier League teams had started their pre-season yet. Branded said, would you ever have Will on here? I really missed the podcast. Well, he was on here when we used to do the podcast, so never say never. That's him now. Good defending. They have defended well, Chelsea. They'll want the clean sheet. They might not get it. Oh no, they might still. They will. They'll clear it away and Cucurella gets caught. And then João Neves tries to do it. Why don't you do the podcast anymore? I liked it, says Charlie. It's why don't I do the football fill-in with Ben Foster anymore? It's bandwidth, really. I don't have infinite amounts of time. So you have to choose. United should get Shankland from Hearts. I vaguely remember doing Scotland in the Euros career mode thing. And yeah, I do vaguely. I can't believe Dewsbury Hall is still at Chelsea. I mean, how old is Dewsbury? I mean, that's where I think criticism of Chelsea's recruitment plan sometimes is a bit weird, because I don't really understand why he's there. He's only 26, says GB. Well, I mean, look, he's obviously on a good contract and he earns good money, but I would have thought at 26, you'd want to go and play football. Like, people were talking about him being an England player at one point. A good squad player. And Kunku's coming on as well. Put him in the shop window. Should go to a Leeds or a Brentford and be the main man, says Reagan. Put your top on, mate. Tumbleweed says, I know both will never happen, but would you do Watkins and Martinez for 60 million plus 10 in add-ons? Mate, you do realise you've just absolutely robbed Aston Villa. I mean, there's no reality to that. I mean, of course I would bloody do it, but that's very, very cheap for a starting goalkeeper and a starting striker. I mean, it's never going to happen. Of course I'd do it. What, over Onana and Rasmus? Of course I would. And I like Rasmus, but obviously Watkins is we need a first team striker. The funny thing is, I actually have been taking the piss out of this on the United stand a little bit. You might not be familiar with this, but there are United fans out there that basically think if you come back from pre-season lean, you're going to be a good footballer. Like, I saw one today. Somebody was posting a picture of Luke Shaw in May and Luke Shaw now, and he looks lean. So they think he's going to be a really good player now. I mean, yeah, losing a little bit of weight means you're not injury prone, doesn't it? You know what? If I've got a really bad knee, if my knee is in trouble, and it's got cartilage damage, and I just don't have a Big Mac and chips for a couple of weeks, it will magically fix my knee, won't it? Like, we actually do have fans who are gloating about how lean our players look. It's crazy. It's like not every other club comes back. Every player comes back lean for pre-season. I mean, what do you think they've been doing in June? Most footballers are professional. They don't go on holiday eating kebabs and drinking Stella. Like, they're in Dubai doing bloody individual fitness plans. Most footballers do come back trim for pre-season deliberately. If I was Amrim, I'd be like, I'm not coming back to train this lot again until 5 are out and 5 are in, says Frank. I just made $600 off this Chelsea win, and you know me, I will bet every pound I get, says Black Wolf. Oh my God. This defender's crap. Good save by Donnarumma. He's rubbish, isn't he, this number 4 for PSG, Beraldo. Where's Nacho? Is he suspended? He's really crap. Like, he has been the weak link for PSG tonight. Yeah, he got suspended. Yeah, he got suspended. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that would have been a way to stop Chelsea, but it would have helped. It's a bit like having Lindelof at centre-back instead of Van Dijk. Do you think Chelsea have got any chance of getting Donnarumma? I mean, I saw the story about it from L'Équipe, which is a French outlet, and he is playing for Paris Saint-Germain. But I think Donnarumma is really just after a new contract. Tell you what's good about this result, though. If PSG had won it, there'd be a lot of confidence, wouldn't there? How's he allowed that to play on then when Chelsea players are all out of position? Bit naughty by the ref. Good save by Sanchez. Reminder, they're going to sign Kenda to add to this super squad all early. Yeah, good. Yeah, forgot about that. Kenda's coming in from Sporting as well. Very good player to Chelsea. Rash says, reminder, they're going to sign Kenda. What hope have we when we're still waiting on Mbermo, says Rash. Yeah. Yeah, but Mark, the leaner Shaw is, the less bulk there is weighing him down or putting stress on his knees, says Robert. Yeah, but it's not going to fix an injury-prone body, is it? The point is, some of our fans think that we're the first club in history to come back looking lean. Even previous pre-seasons for Man United, our players have come back looking lean. I'll tell you what's another positive for Chelsea as well. Coming off the back of a season like they've had, playing all these games, not picking up any injuries as well. You look at what happened to Musiala. Winning the tournament, earning the money is great, but they haven't actually picked up any injuries as well, which after a long season, you'd be happy with that. Keane says, I've always liked Gusto. I liked Gusto when he was in France. We got linked to him at United, and yeah, he had a great reputation. Enzo's injured. Is he? I thought he just came off to give a bit of game time. I didn't see that one. Sorry. Yeah, ref's not been great, but it's not really cost Chelsea anything. I know he came off, but I didn't think he was injured. There's something off the ball now with João Neves and Cucurella. I think it's destined to be a red card here somewhere, isn't there? Oh, he's pulled Cucurella's hair. João Neves. The yellow card. I don't think Beraldo was the weakling. Maresca outsmarted PSG by playing Reece and Gusto together. Watch the game again. Nuno Mendes was the weakling, says Pelly. I've already watched it, mate. It's great that you have your own observation of it. I tactically analysed this at half-time. I don't think the game was won because you played Reece James and Gusto against Mendes. I think Beraldo has played shit. But I also think that, it could be a red card. Pulling your hair. You're not going to send him off for pulling hair, surely. We're not sending somebody off for pulling hair. We're surely not. We are. I mean, that's incredible. I think that's a joke. Mark doesn't know the rules. Well, most people don't have long hair, so it's not a rule I'm actually that au fait with. But I presume if Saliba and Haaland push each other and he pulls his hair, he's getting sent off. I don't think that should be a red card. I mean, pulling somebody's hair is the same as pushing somebody. Come on. He's not punched him, has he? I mean, it demeans the red card. I mean, red cards are there for elbows and headbutts and two-footed tackles. I mean, we're literally giving a red card for a little tug on his hair. Come on. I'm not saying it's okay to pull someone's hair, but it's not okay to push somebody or shoulder barge someone either, is it? It's not bloody assault. I don't know. I think it's a bit over the top. Casido should get sent off for a second yellow as well. That's a second yellow, surely. I think that I think it's a bit soft pulling your hair. But Casido's on a yellow card and he's just tripped someone up. He could have had a second yellow there as well. So at least that hasn't happened. Long hair is meant to be pulled, says Natalie. Who is this clown of a ref? To be fair, he's been more anti-Chelsea than he has PSG. So... still got Gittins, Estabao, Pays incoming, says Abik. And Kenda as well, of course. Luckily, it won't matter because Chelsea are 3-0 up. You can't send Casido off. Best centre midfielder in the Premier League right now, says Rub. Oh, can we have a poll for the head? Oh, yeah, sorry. Was it a red for pulling hair? Yes or no? But anyway, what I was saying, it's good. It's good that PSG have been beaten by a Premier League club so comprehensively because whatever you think about the Club World Cup, it's not as good as winning the Champions League. And next season, as good as PSG are, people will remember this and go, they are beatable. So you get we go into next season knowing that there is a vulnerability to PSG if you do a certain thing. I think a lot of people would be saying PSG are going to win the Champions League next year, and I don't think that's a bad shout, but I have a feeling it's going to be a Premier League club next year. Here's the lap. God, we could be playing till midnight here. There's a lot of free kicks going on. What about Barcelona next year? I think the problem with Barcelona is, and I'd be interested to know what your thoughts are on this. Barcelona were a very good team last year, and Liverpool were a very good team last year, and they didn't win the Champions League. Look at the players Liverpool have bought. Look at the players that PSG have bought. Arsenal got to the semi-final of the Champions League last year, and Barcelona got to the semi-final of the Champions League last year. Look at the players Arsenal have bought. Look at the players Barcelona have bought. That's my concern about Barcelona. Where's the players to take them to that next level? They've got good players, but they haven't got a lot of money, have they? I mean, if they've got Nico Williams, or if they get Luis Diaz, or, obviously not getting Nico Williams, but it's hard to add players, isn't it? With their financials. Um, there's another player down here for PSG. Stay down. Two minutes to go. Fucking hell. Game's finishing at 10:15 when we haven't had extra time. Got to get used to it. Oh, yeah. Shreeman. I'll definitely be reading that out. Can Chelsea kill it off here? They've got a bit of a break. They've got a 5v3. But Nkunku slows it down. Delap. Going to go for the corner. No, he's not. Gives it into Nkunku. Ooh, I tell you what. There are some tasty tackles going in now. Mendes on Nkunku. Chelsea won't like that. They don't want him injured. They want to sell him. Don't injure Nkunku. I think he slipped, to be fair. But he did catch him quite bad. Hopefully he'll be okay. It's past Gary Neville's bedtime. He goes to bed at 9:30 or 9 o'clock. Chelsea are the biggest club in the world now, technically, says Castav. You've got every right to say that, mate. Whether everybody else wants to agree with it, that's something else. You are the Club World Cup winners. FIFA will say that you are the best team in the world. I think there'll be some Chelsea fans that don't actually believe that, but they'll take the 100 million all the less. I think it's been a deserved win by Chelsea. And, you know, do what you want with it, really. Maresca's happy. Look, at least it's not City winning it. That's all I say. I'd rather Chelsea win it than City. I tell you what, this game has been so aggressive. 67% of you think you should get % off for having your hair pulled. This is welcome to 2025. It's the world's gone mad. Not in my day. Is this one of the biggest upsets in recent years? Only if you respect the tournament, Mezzi. I mean, I think it's been an enjoyable game and it's a good result for Chelsea, but I can't pretend that I'm engaged with the Club World Cup to the point that I think it's a huge upset that I'll never stop talking about. The final whistle's gone. Well done to Chelsea. You are the Club World Cup winners. We'll leave you to your celebrations. I'm just seeing if there's any little scraps going on, but looks like PSG have calmed down a little bit now. Jorgensen and Sanchez hug. The goalkeepers hug. I think they need to get a new goalkeeper. But well done to Chelsea. And it is kicking off a little bit. Donnarumma. And somebody, I don't know who. Hakimi. Maresca's having a word with Donnarumma. I told you I thought there might be a fight. Camera's looking away. João Pedro shouldn't be pushing Luis Enrique. I do not like that. He shouldn't have done that. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. You know, I think that's a lack of respect to be pushing the manager like that. He shouldn't do that. But it's still going on. I told you that game had that all the way through. All the way through. And I don't know what it was all about. I really don't. Makes it a little bit more interesting, I suppose. Cole Palmer, superior player of the match. Or as I call, man of the match. I think the fighting's all over. They're not used to losing. They're not used to losing at all. WrestleMania, says Abik. I don't know what started it. All I saw was João Pedro pushing Luis Enrique, and I wouldn't like to see Hakimi pushing Maresca. I don't think, you know, there's a level of respect with managers. You shouldn't do that. But I don't know what happened before it. But that's not going to be the takeaway from this game, is it? Chelsea winning the Club World Cup will be. Thanks everyone for tuning in. They've gone to a break, so you know, I suppose this is what happens, isn't it? We've gone to a break, so I don't even get to see what's going on next, and I'm certainly not going to wait for Chelsea to lift the trophy. So thanks everyone for watching. Back tomorrow. Take care. Well done to Chelsea, and we'll speak to you all later.